The lights inside the practice studio flickered softly against the polished wooden floor, but something in the air felt different that day. Cameras were rolling. Staff members stood silently along the walls, and the atmosphere carried a strange electricity that no one could quite explain. Then the music started. In the center of the room stood Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS. Yet the moment he moved, the entire space seemed to ignite with an energy that no one expected. What happened next would send waves across the internet, spark millions of reactions, and leave fans around the world asking the same question. How does Jungkook keep getting more powerful on stage every single time? The video was simple at first glance. A dance practice. No extravagant stage. No blinding lights. No massive concert crowd screaming his name. Just a studio, music, and Jungkook. Yet within seconds of the clip appearing online, the reaction was explosive. Fans described it as hypnotizing, dangerously charismatic, and even impossible to look away from. But what exactly made this moment so different? The answer begins the moment the beat dropped. Jungkook stood quietly for a split second before the music began, head slightly tilted downward, shoulders relaxed. Anyone who has followed BTS over the years knows this posture well. It is the calm before the storm. The moment right before Jungkook transforms from a quiet, humble artist into a performer whose presence can dominate an entire stadium. Then the first beat hit. His body moved instantly, sharp, precise, and almost frighteningly controlled. Every motion cut through the air like it had been measured down to the millisecond. His footwork struck the floor with perfect rhythm, while his upper body flowed with a smoothness that made the choreography feel effortless. Within seconds, the temperature inside the studio seemed to rise, not literally, but in the emotional intensity radiating from the performance. Staff members watching the rehearsal reportedly stopped what they were doing. Cameras zoomed closer. Someone in the corner whispered something under their breath, because what they were witnessing wasn't just practice.it. Was Jungkook unleashing the full force of his stage presence. And when that happens, even a quiet rehearsal room can feel like the center of the universe. Across social media platforms, the clip began spreading at lightning speed. Fans who stumbled upon the video late at night suddenly found themselves wide awake, replaying the same few seconds again and again. Did you see that transition? Wait, look at his expression here. How is he even real? Comments flooded the internet within minutes. Edits began appearing on fan accounts. Slow-motion clips highlighted every movement of his choreography. But the moment that truly sent fans into chaos came halfway through the performance. As the music intensified, Jungkook's expression changed. The playful smile disappeared, replaced by a focused intensity that fans often describe as his performance mode. His eyes locked forward, his movements became sharper, and suddenly, the dance didn't look like choreography anymore. It looked like instinct. For longtime fans of BTS, this transformation is something they have witnessed many times, but it never loses its power. Jungkook has always been known as one of the most versatile performers in the industry. Since debuting with BTS in 2013 under HYB, formerly Big Hit Entertainment, he has evolved from a talented teenager into a global superstar capable of commanding audiences of millions. But this studio moment reminded fans of something deeper. Before the stadium tours, before the global awards, before the world records, there was always Jungkook the dancer. And that dancer is still unstoppable. The choreography itself appeared deceptively simple. A combination of sharp hip-hop moves, fluid transitions, and explosive footwork. Yet Jungkook executed every step with such precision that it felt almost unreal. His timing was flawless, his balance perfect. Even the smallest details, the flick of his wrist, the angle of his shoulders, the rhythm of his breathing, seemed perfectly synchronized with the music. Dance experts who later analyzed the clip pointed out how Jungkook has developed a rare ability. He doesn't just follow choreography, he embodies it. Instead of counting beats mechanically, his movements seem to emerge naturally from the music itself. It's a skill that takes years of intense training to develop. And even then, very few performers reach the level Jungkook has achieved. But the most fascinating part of the video wasn't the choreography. It was the emotion. Halfway through the performance, Jungkook added subtle improvisations that weren't part of the original routine. A slight body roll here, a sudden pause there, A glance toward the camera that lasted just a fraction of a second but carried enormous impact. Fans immediately noticed, and that's when the phrase began trending online. Studio suddenly feels hot. The phrase spread across fan communities within hours, describing how the atmosphere in the rehearsal room seemed to change the moment Jungkook truly immersed himself in the performance. It wasn't about temperature, it was about energy. And Jungkook's energy was overwhelming as the video continued circulating. Fans began connecting it to a much bigger discussion: BTS's long-awaited full group comeback. For years, BTS has dominated the global music industry with chart-topping albums, sold-out stadium tours, and cultural influence that stretches far beyond music. Members like Kim Taehyung, Park Jimin, and Min Yoongi have each explored their own artistic directions during the group's temporary focus on solo activities. But whenever Jungkook appears in a dance video like this, fans are reminded of the unstoppable force that BTS becomes when all 7 members share the same stage. And that thought alone is enough to send ARMY into a frenzy of anticipation. Imagine this energy multiplied by 7. Imagine Jungkook performing like this beside his bandmates. Imagine the next BTS tour. The possibility feels explosive. Some fans even began analyzing the choreography itself, speculating whether it might be connected to a future BTS project. Was this practice for an upcoming performance? A teaser for a new music video? Or simply Jungkook enjoying the freedom of dance again? No official explanation appeared. And that mystery only made the moment more powerful, because sometimes Jungkook doesn't need an announcement to make headlines. All he needs is music and a studio floor. By the time the video reached millions of views, media outlets began discussing it as well. Headlines described Jungkook's unmatched charisma, electric stage presence, and unstoppable dance energy. Yet fans who had watched the clip dozens of times felt the headlines still didn't capture the full impact. Because charisma isn't just about talent, it's about presence. And Jungkook's presence is something that cameras struggle to contain. In concerts around the world, from Seoul to Los Angeles to Paris, fans have described the same phenomenon. When Jungkook performs live, it feels like the entire room shifts toward him. Not because he tries to dominate attention, but because his passion for performing becomes impossible to ignore. That same magnetic force was visible in this simple studio rehearsal. The video eventually crossed millions of views within a short time, with fan edits accumulating even more attention. Some slowed down the choreography to highlight the precision of his movements. Others layered dramatic music over the clip, turning it into cinematic performances. But the most powerful edits were the simplest ones, just Jungkook dancing. Nothing else needed, because when he dances, something extraordinary happens. The boundary between practice and performance disappears. The studio becomes a stage, and the world watches in awe. Even casual viewers who weren't longtime BTS fans found themselves captivated by the clip. Many left comments saying they had stumbled upon the video randomly but couldn't stop watching. Who is this guy? Why is this so addictive? Now I understand why BTS is so huge. Moments like this remind the world why Jungkook has earned the nickname Golden Magne. Within BTS, the term describes someone who excels at nearly everything, and Jungkook has proven it repeatedly through singing, dancing, songwriting, producing, and performing. Yet despite all those talents, dance remains one of his most powerful forms of expression, because when Jungkook dances, words aren't necessary. Emotion becomes visible, energy becomes contagious, and the studio becomes alive. As the final seconds of the video approached, the choreography reached its most intense moment. Jungkook spun across the floor with explosive speed before landing perfectly on the final beat of the song. Silence followed, just a brief moment, but it felt enormous. Jungkook stood still, breathing slightly heavier after the intense routine. For a second, the fierce performer disappeared again, replaced by the familiar shy smile fans know so well. It was as if the storm had passed.